So this is how different address zones are being selected with the help of decoder 74LS138. Now within an address zone, with the aid of further decoders, further address division is possible, and in the end, using a comparator, you will be able to select one out of two decoders. This is exactly how address is being sent, or the actual act of addressing of a memory location is being performed. Now we will see how an I/O device interfacing is done with the help of address decoder 74LS138. In the case of 8085 processor, the I/O address is actually 8-bit, because the number of I/O devices that are to be incorporated with the processor will be very limited. With the help of 8 different lines or 8 different bits, you will be able to address 256 I/O devices. Even if it's a new computer or a computer of the modern era, the number of I/O devices incorporated that are to be incorporated with the computer will be up to a maximum of 256. Then for this kind of a primitive computer, 8-bit address space for I/O device is sufficient and more. However, there is an issue of sending these addresses, because the address bus of 8085 is 16-bit. So what often being done is that the same address, 8-bit address, will be copied upon the least significant 8-bit of the address bus as well as the most significant 8 bits of the address bus. So the most significant 8 bits of the address bus will be from A8 to A15. This actually forms the address bus as long as I/O device is concerned. The least significant 8 bits varying from A0 to A7 happens to be address data bus. When it is in the regime of input-output devices, address bus actually mean the most significant 8 bits of the address bus, in fact. Now, to incorporate or to interface the different input-output devices, as shown here, there are 3 different input devices and 3 different output devices. 2 channels are kept free for further use in the future. This is how an interfacing is being done with the help of 74LS138. The channel select lines will be given least significant 3 pins of the address bus. These are A8, A9 and A10 in this reverse order. CBA is the order of precedence as long as this chip, output channel selector inputs are concerned, channel selector pins are concerned. We know that G1 must be high. In I/O addressing, I/O bar M bar will be going high. So to this decoder, I/O bar M bar line will be given to G1. G2A will be grounded. And to G2B, the remaining pins of the address bus from A11 to A15 will be incorporated through a 5-input NAND gate. So to G2B, you will be the output of a 5-input NAND gate. The inputs of this NAND gate are pins from A11 to A15. Suppose any among these is 0, then the output of this channel will be high. Suppose this is 0 and all the remaining are high. 0 and 1, that is 0. 0 is being complemented here to make it say 1, so that the chip will not be selected. When all these inputs are high, then 1 and 1, 1 and 1, 1 and 1, all these make 1, that is negated here. As long as a NAND gate is concerned, this is 0 then. So this G2B will be made low and this chip will be enabled. So this is the double check as long as the IO address decoding with the help of 74LS138 is concerned. So to G1, you have the first check IO bar M bar line is connected. When this is going high, address is meant for an IO device, then this chip will be selected. And further, you have all these input, address channels A15 to A11 that must be high, so that this will be selected. This device decoder will be selected. Already you have grounded G2A plus VCC and ground are given. Now suppose this status is 0, 0, 0. Actually these 3 different pins are sufficient to decode this 8 different input or output devices incorporated with the microprocessor or interfaced with the microprocessor through this decoder. When these status are 0, 0, 0, and keep in mind all the remaining pins must be high. 0, 0, 0, this indicates that this output is enabled and the input device 1 will be ready to make a communication with the microprocessor. Corresponding to a status of this one equal to 0, actually this is 0, 1, 1, that stands for 4 plus 2, 6, channel number 5, that is why 5 will be then enabled, because we will be counting from 0 onwards. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the value corresponding to the status 0, 1, 1, which is 6. So the output device 3 will be enabled to make a communication or will be selected to make a communication with the microprocessor. Now the truth table for this operation is shown here. We require A15 to A11. All these must be high, then only the chip, that is the decoder, will be enabled. When the status A10, A9, A8 given respectively to the pins C, B and A of the processor 3, 2 and 1, as long as pin number is concerned, then channel Y0 will be selected. The corresponding address generated is F8. This is actually say corresponding to F and this is 8. So F8 happens to be a port address. Input device 1 will be then selected for a communication. And corresponding to 0, 0, 1, corresponding address will be then this is F and this is 8 plus 1, 9. Input device 2 will be selected. This is how an input or output device will be selected to make a communication with the processor via address decoder 74LS138. So this is about this module. With that we come to an end for module number 1 and 2. Though the syllabus has separated these two as 2 different modules, we will be combining them as a single module. Microprocessor prelims, timings and programming. In the exam point of view, microprocessor timing is very important. Yeah, of course, we will discuss the exam point of view in a live session that I propose on next Monday. Find a proper time for this and we will meet.